Hi, my name is Patrick Gallivan with GVN Performance, and today we are going to talk about how to progress somebody back into deadlifting after a low back injury. The first thing we want to do is make sure we have a proper dynamic warm-up in order to raise the tissue temperature of the body and expose the body to a variety of movements that's going to help prepare for lifting. Second, we want to make sure that after the injury and we have our bout of physical therapy or chiropractic care, that we have built up the necessary low back and core stability, strength through the shoulder blades, strength through the glutes and hamstrings to handle the higher loads that people typically do to build strength when deadlifting. Okay, third, we want to manipulate the range of motion. So we would elevate the surface that the trap bar or straight bar deadlift is being performed from. So we would start somebody maybe 4 to 6 inches off the ground. As they go through that range of motion and they have success, over time you can slowly lower that box height until they reach the ground, given that they look good and they have the proper range of motion to reach those positions. Okay, next we want to talk about volume and intensity. Volume as in how many reps and sets they're doing. Intensity is and how heavy the loads they're lifting. So from an intensity standpoint, I would typically have somebody start with a 5 or 6 or so on the difficulty of the load. And from volume standpoint, we would start with 3 sets of 8 on the first week and make sure that the client or yourself responds well to that volume. The next week, we would keep the intensity the same at a 5 or a 6. Okay, we would up the volume. We would go 3 sets of 10. Third week, keep the intensity the same and up the volume to 3 sets of 12. Okay, after you get through that phase, you could drop down back to the 3 sets of 8 and we could raise the intensity a little bit. Okay, and we can work and slowly progress this until the client or yourself has been reacclimated to deadlifting. Okay, the last thing that's important to note is the body type of a person. So depending on how long your legs are, how long your torso is, it may change the position that you get set up in a deadlift. So rather than trying to force a certain position, your body may simply not be made up that way to optimize that movement. So if somebody has higher hips and a shorter torso, you can expect that their upper body is going to be more in a horizontal position. Okay? If they're proportionate between their lower and upper body, you can expect kind of a neutral hip and a 45-degree angle at the trunk. And lastly, with lower hips, shorter femurs, longer torsos, you're going to see a more vertical orientation of the upper body. So it's important to keep that in mind as well, and don't force your body into anything that could compromise the low back. So to wrap it up, we want to make sure we have a proper dynamic warm-up. We have the prerequisite strength and stability. We have the ability to manipulate range of motion to safely progress back into deadlifting. Okay, we can start with the right amount of volume and intensity to not overload the low back. And we have to take note of what type of body type we have in order to safely perform deadlifts. Thank you. Have a good day.